So the Glenvista High School Hall has been set alight, allegedly by pupils. The fire was extinguished before major damage was done, but the matter is being investigated by the school governing body and the police. Reporter Nqobile Madlala visited the school earlier today and she joins me now. Nqobile, so this story is allegedly a group of pupils tried to set fire to the school hall at Glenvista because they didn't want to write their exam. Is this true?
Well, Sally, that's what Panyaza had written on his social media. He said that is exactly what has been said. In fact, when we spoke to Steve, he also alluded to the same thing. But from what we heard from the principal, she was really just devastated. She says the amount of damage that has been done is estimated over 400,000 worth of damage. We have seen cables that were damaged. There was a screen that was in the school hall that was also damaged. The space just looks absolutely damaged, and there's so much that they need now to replace because of only the pupils that were deciding that they're not interested, allegedly, in writing the exam. But that didn't, of course, stop them from writing these preliminary exams, Sally, because, in fact, as we were there, the principal was and the teachers were monitoring them from writing exams outside, now out in the sun. So that didn't really stop anything. But when we spoke to the principal, she was just saying that she's really disappointed she's disappointed about what happened. And of course, this is being investigated, but this is something that she did not expect from the pupils, understanding that there's so much that has happened with COVID. There's so much that needs to be covered when it comes into the schooling. I mean, just the other day, we were covering the fact that the primary school is now going back to full classes. So there's so much to do in the schooling system because of the disturbance that has occurred because of COVID-19. And then on top of it all, they decide to do this. But let's listen to the principal that explains to us how she feels.
This happened yesterday at about 11:05 to be precise, because I left the school at about 10 to 11 to go and attend the director's meeting. And as I was busy with the director, a teacher came in to say that the hall was burning. And I rushed here only to find the hall on fire. I then called the fire extinguishers, I called the police, and so the investigation is still on.
Panyaza Lesotho, as you mentioned, Nqobile was at the school, apparently absolutely furious at the possibility that some of these school children might have done this deliberately to avoid writing an exam. Clearly they were thwarted, they had to sit outside and write the exam. But also the school now has to fix the damage. I want to know about that, but I also want to know if anyone has been arrested yet.
Well, Sally, Panyaza did go to the school. In fact, he did speak to management, but we managed to speak to Steve. He did also just mention, reiterating exactly that he was also very angry about what had happened. He said he was disappointed more than anything that such things would happen. I mean, knowing that there's already school time that has been lost in this year, this cannot be acceptable. In fact, that's what he even wrote. He said it's unacceptable that this happened. But at this moment, Sally, nobody has been arrested. We do understand, though, that there are people that they think might be suspected, those pupils, but the investigation right now is with the police, and the police have come in to see what has happened. So they're still collecting evidence and, of course, doing that investigation. We do understand also SGB is also part of that investigation, looking into what occurred. But also, having spoken to some of the pupils that were writing outside, also they were saying the same thing, Sally, that this was unacceptable, that they're hoping that the culprits will be found so that they are able to also move on, because most of them were saying that this is going to be very difficult. Already they have to be under the stress of writing these preliminary exams that they want to pass, but now this has added more stress into their daily lives, really. So now, as you can see there, Sally, they were starting at about 2 o'clock also, which was the next class that was coming in to do these preliminary exams. So this also just frustrating to the students, saying that just a bunch of people that could do such to them. But we spoke to Steve, of course, who also alluded into saying that this needs to be investigated.
You know, the MEC visited the school and he has already indicated that a principle, that of saying if a school is touched either by the members of the community or any person, the department does not fix the school. So that still stands, and he's indicated that the school will have to make ends meet to see on how they're going to be managing the process. They need to facilitate on the process of fixing the hall, and he's quite disappointed that learners will go to an extent of conducting themselves in this manner, and he encouraged the SGB to facilitate that process of an investigation. Once they are done with that process, they then need to make sure that they take necessary action. As you will know, that discipline is on the shoulders of the SGB at all our schools. So they need to facilitate that process and make sure that disciplinary action is taken. But they need to investigate. And as you will know, that the police already, they are investigating as well. The case has been opened, so they will then manage that process, you know, for us and the school.
Yeah, we got to see the culprits brought to book on this one. Utterly unacceptable. Thank you so much for that report, Nqobile Madlala.